Yes, it's a good day to be back.
Yeah, how long has it been since you had been wearing the warm, fuzzy costume?
I think
that was near the end of your last year at high school?
Yeah, I think the last time I ever wore it was in May of 2007 for the Fuzzy 50. And I think that was pretty much the last... End of May was the last time I was ever here.
What were you doing that for?
I'm a very impulsive person, and if I believe in something, I will go to the extent of running a ridiculous amount of laps on a field and ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I believed so much in Stand for Peace and Mr. Gordon and the school and everyone that was involved and everyone that was a part of it. So I did only what I could do, and I did what
is this Stand for Peace thing anyway?
Stand for Peace was an organization that was started by Mr. Gordon. I remember him telling me about it. I want to start this group, and being like, yeah. So I started making flyers and walking around trying to get all these random kids to join the group, you know? So we have our first meeting, we have like 12 kids show up, and ever since then I was just kind of like, it was my passion. It was anything I could do for Stand for Peace, coming up with fundraiser ideas to getting the spirit up for the people that were involved, trying to get them enthusiastic about the idea.
What is the Stand for Peace movement? What is it?
It's the first project that we undertook was Brick by Brick Foundation, and Mr. Gordon happened to get a hold of Free the Children, yeah. I think he was, yeah. And they had the Brick by Brick program going. So that was one of the first things we did. It was for each brick, it was the equivalent of $100, and it was to build a school in Sierra Leone, and it only cost $6,000 to build a school and equipped it in Sierra Leone. So as soon as we had that project, bake sales, dance parties, anything we could do to accomplish building this school. And in the last year that I was here was when we were able to build it. And I'll never forget the last assembly that was here, because I remember sitting in the back of the class and just the back of the assembly and having Mr. Gordon get up on stage, and he was talking about accomplishing it and Stand for Peace and such, and he had this giant board in his hand and kept talking. I was kind of in my own world. I lost a good friend of mine at that time, so it was kind of a rough ending to the year, but in a sense, Mr. Gordon kind of flooded a light to my whole perspective on life as soon as he said, like, I'd like to thank Eric, and I got on stage and I get to hold a giant check that said $6,000 for a school that was built, and I requested to see if I could get that school named after Brooke Abera, a good friend of mine, and ever since I had him in my heart, that's all I've been doing, and now I find myself back at Spectrum, sitting in front of Mr. Schwartz, and being able to pursue that passion.
And 4 years later, you come back to school and you find out that now it's actually the kind of work that Stand for Peace started doing is now part of the curriculum. It's in a global studies class that kids can take for credit, but they're continuing the kinds of things that you kind of started with Mr. Gordon and a few other students. Where are you going from here?
About you, only thing you got is God out here in these streets. If you get down on your luck, you can stand out with a hand out, but nobody out here in these streets. Every man is for himself, they ain't helping no one else. It's a hazard to your health, living life in these cold streets. Hey, who's worrying about you, babe, when you wildin' out, running around in these streets? Too much drama, living with the police right behind you. It's always more than a slight reminder. We living in a war zone like Rwanda.
As soon as I finished high school, like everybody else, you get lost. You try to find what it is that you're excited about. I've done every odd job from cleaning carpets at the Empress to I was working at a haunted house to working at Second Slice Pizza, and I ended up doing the RCA program. And before that, this kind of care work was the only job that I've been able to hold down. And the first time I ever did my practicums, that's when I realized the things that excited me the most, and I started remembering things I used to do in Spectrum. And just that sort of care and compassion that you have towards something, but you don't know why you do, was what I realized about myself after the class. I owe student loans $6,000, and honestly, I still haven't gotten into a facility and worked. But the home I work at now is unbelievable. It's definitely not what the program that I went to take acquired, but the experiences I got from that class taught me a lot. And in combination with that, finishing in August, my practicums was the first month where I kind of started painting. I used to be very artistic growing up. I used to love creating things, wild imagination. Some people call it ADD, but I call it imagination. So as soon as I started painting, I just started watching YouTube videos, and I bought a bunch of oil paints, and pretty much from August until now, I've been persistent. I don't eat sometimes. I wake up 5:30 in the morning. I keep painting. It's the only thing my majority of my pants have sketches on them because when I'm on the bus, I'm just drawing something on my pants that I'm going to paint later. So it's definitely been a passion of mine. Yeah.
And the painting behind you, you've been carrying that around. Why?
That is one of the first times I ever realized if you ever want anything bad enough, there's no one else you can hold accountable but yourself, and how far you're willing to go and get it. And I remember my roommate mentioning, Kanon's performing in Vancouver, and before this I idolized the man. I used to remember walking home from working at McDonald's and listening to Struggling, and how every soundtrack he had or every album that he put it out, Dusty Foot Philosopher, just it rung true to me because I understood everything he was going through. And he always talked about, keep your head up, keep moving, right? So as soon as I woke up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna paint him, and I'm gonna get him to sign this at the show in Vancouver. So I got excited about this, overly excited. I mean, I was calling everyone, and no one could really fathom how excited I was about it or why I was doing it. For me, myself, I didn't know exactly why I was doing it, but I knew that was the step I had to take. The next 5 solid days painting this giant Kanon painting and just listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm sending this one out to everybody that's had to wait on a money transfer. Yeah, it's kinda whack when they charge you like 10% on the dollar, but you know how good it feels when they say, you can pick it up today, it's 15 minutes away, you can pick it up today, it's 15 minutes away, you can pick it up today, it's 15 minutes away, you can pick it up today, it's 15 minutes away. The worst thing is the waiting, man, it's spiritually draining. I guess I could repaint it, but don't think I'm complaining. I'm in my small apartment, this month has been the hardest. I couldn't afford some omelets, I'm broke like an empty promise. Sometimes when I'm in a meeting and everyone else is eating, I feel so awkward asking, so I pretend like I'm fasting. My girl had paid my payments, she wants to save my anus. She says my love's contagious, but my pride is so outrageous.
The night before, I'm begging my mom, because by this I have no money to make it there. I'm like, Mom, I need help with this. So she's like, okay, I'll go down, I'll buy you the Greyhound ticket. But this entire time, she was kind of like, Eric, it's like money changes people, all this stuff. But she was very withdrawn with being negative on the whole thing, because I was just, nothing she would say would ever deter me from it. No, anyone else for that fact, because everyone else thought I was just wasting my time. So we go to the Greyhound station, but they're closed. I'm like, oh crap. I was like, too bad, But my mom's looking at me, and I'm like, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. And by this point, I still have to finish up about 6 hours of the painting, and I'm supposed to leave for the 7 o'clock ferry in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock in the afternoon, 8 o'clock in the afternoon. So my mom goes to the ATM and she takes out $100, and I'm like, sweet, gives me a ride, kiss her in the cheek, thanks so much. Run to the grocery store and I spend $50 on like chunky soup and like yeah, sandwich meat and like all this food supplies because I'm supposed to be there for 4 days. I don't know what's going to happen. So then I make all these sandwiches, put them all away, grab the camcorder and say, okay, I got a few more hours of painting. Set up the camera, and I spend probably from about 10 o'clock till about 4:35 in the morning painting, nap for about half an hour, record myself sleeping, waking up to his ringtone, you know, just everything. I'm just like, okay, this is, I made it my mission. So then wake up, get the camcorder, I'm about to hit the road, and be like, okay, I have $50. I was like, I got this giant painting in a plastic bag, and this is better than the day, right? So.
Rockin'. Oh mes amis, on ne choisit pas son destin. Les jours se amènent ne sont pas les mêmes. Les doigts de la main ne sont pas tous égaux. Dans ce monde, on est complémentaires.
Oh, come on, show me everything that you know. I wanna travel every inch of your curves.
En Afrique, y a la canicule. Y a le soleil, la chaleur humaine. Y a le soleil, la joie de vivre. Y a le soleil, on est tous ensemble.
I'm going up and down and baby round and round.
Africa, 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 solidarité. Africa, 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 c'est la joie de vivre.
Tell them again. Here we go.
Y a des pays où c'est la neige. Y a des pays c'est la canicule. Y a des pays où c'est les tempêtes. Y a des pays où c'est les îles. Dans ce monde, on est complémentaires.
It's just a jealous scene, they feel for you and me. You ready? Here we go. I got my feet, I'm jumping out of the wall. I got my heart, I ain't afraid of the fall. I got my duffel bag, that daddy back for me. I got my ears, I can hear when you call. I don't need eyes just to see you look good. You always did, but they misunderstood. I'm going up and down and baby round and round. I wanna touch you down the river below, and then I kiss you from your head to your toe. You take me so high up and then you let me down. Here we go.
Africa, 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 solidarité. Africa, 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 c'est la joie de vivre.
That's how it is. Mr. Amadou, rockin'.
En Afrique, y a pas que la guerre. En Afrique, y a pas que la famine. En Afrique, y a la solidarité. Y a les parents, y a aussi les frères. Y a les sœurs, y a aussi les cousins. Y a les amis, y a aussi la famille. La communauté, on est tous ensemble. En Afrique, y a la joie de vivre. Africa, 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 solidarité. Africa, 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 c'est la joie de vivre. Africa, 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 solidarité. Africa, 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 c'est la joie de vivre.
I could not think of anything else that would get in my way to spread this message.
It's a good message.
Yeah, yeah,
Good message.
yeah.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Excellent.
Yeah.